I'm going to do a German lentil sausage soup that is quick, easy, hearty. It'll fill you up, makes, leftovers are great for lunch. It'll freeze well, all that kind of good stuff. So I'm starting out with lentils, and that's not something that I cook a lot with. They're really good for you. They're really inexpensive. You can pick up them anywhere. But one of the things that you need to do is kind of rinse them in a colander. Same idea of like when you're using dried peas, you just want to make sure that you rinse them off and make sure that there's no little stones or pebbles or anything that's going to go into your soup. So this is 2 cups, which is 1 bag. And they're really good and just something different. So I just rinse them off in my colander. And make sure and use a colander that the holes are small enough so your lentils don't go through. Ann was worried about that this morning. She said, are the lentils going to get, are they going to, looking for my, go right through? And no, they didn't. Worked out perfect. So in my lentils go into my slow cooker. Now lentils are, like dried peas and dried beans. They take a long time to make, so that's why the slow cooker recipe is a perfect way to do them. Okay, thanks, Ann. All right, now in goes, I've got a few carrots, about 3 carrots that I've just chunked up because this is going to cook low and slow all day, and I don't want them to disappear, so you don't have to chop them too finely. 1 cup or 1 onion that's diced, about 3 stalks of celery. I love celery in soup. I don't think there's a soup that my mom didn't make growing up that there wasn't a little bit of celery in it. So this is just traditional soup stuff that goes in most soups and stews that you make. Now let's say I was throwing this together on a Monday morning when you're running around like a crazy person trying to get out the door. You could have the veggies all diced and everything like that the night before and then just throw it all in that slow cooker in the morning, and that makes it even easier. I've got some garlic. Just going to give it a rough chop. I don't use any of those special little presses because it's just one more thing to wash, so I just like to use the back of my knife and give it a rough chop that way, and it seems to work good. You're welcome, Ann, saying, yeah, good, I don't need to wash any more dishes. Okay, oh, it smells so good. So garlic, celery, onions, carrots. Now we're going to throw in some chicken stock. And the recipe calls for 8 cups. So that's 2 boxes of chicken stock. So, or you could do, if you wanted to keep this vegetarian, you could do vegetable stock. That would work fine too. But those lentils, you're going to say, wow, that's a lot of broth. Those lentils are going to absorb that, and you'll see how thick this is. All right. Now I've got a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. That's the Worcestershire. Some salt and pepper. A little bit of celery salt, which is kind of, gives it some great flavor. And then at this point we're going to put the lid on this guy, and out the door you're going to go, and you're going to let it cook low and slow for a good 4 or 5 hours, or whenever you get home. Now you're saying it's a lentil sausage soup, so how does this all come together? Well, I don't want to put the sausage in at the beginning because it'll kind of, if you're going to cook it low and slow all day, it'll break down and turn into nothing. So I want to throw some of the ingredients in right when you walk in the door. And go help with the kids' homework, check your emails, walk the dog, whatever, and just let it cook a little bit more at the end. So I'm going to throw some sausage in here, and you can just chunk it up. This is smoked sausage, already pre-cooked, so we're just going to kind of warm it through, and it's also going to give the soup some nice flavor. But I'm not a big fan of the texture if I were to put that in the morning. Now, if you had something like a ham hock or some leftover ham, you could substitute that instead of the sausage and throw that in at the beginning when you start cooking that. So it's up to you. I love the sausage in here, though. So this, after it's cooked all day, low and slow, then you're going to throw in some sausage, a little bit of caraway seed, and that's kind of the whole German thing. Now that's optional. If you don't want to do the caraway seed, you certainly don't have to, but we're going to do a little bit in here, just to add some great flavor. I love rye bread. 1 can of tomatoes, diced tomatoes with the juice. Again, this is just going to add another element to the soup. If you're not a big fan of tomatoes, that's something you could leave out, but this is just going to give another little dimension to the soup. Some potato. And no, I don't peel and chop my, I'm all about quick and easy. Sometimes I do, but I love, one of the best tips ever is having some of the cubed Southern style diced hash brown potatoes, a bag of those in your freezer. And then if you've got soups and stews and casseroles that call for potatoes, I just kind of eyeball it, throw a couple cups of potato in here. And again, this is just going to make the soup so wonderful and hearty. And then one other kind of a secret ingredient, and a lot of the chefs are doing this, is at the end when they're making soups and stews and things like that, they're adding a little bit of an acid. Just depends on what you're making, but maybe a squeeze of lemon juice or lime juice or a little bit of vinegar. And in this case, we're going to use some balsamic vinegar. And you're not going to really taste the balsamic vinegar. It's just going to enhance the flavor. So that's something you do right about a half hour before serving. Then just turn it up to high and let that soup cook for another half hour, 45 minutes or so, until everybody's ready to come to the table for dinner. Now I have to show you this because it's a wower. And this, as you see, is so inexpensive to make. I mean, that's why I love soup like this. Makes a big batch, and you can be eating it all week. It's great for dinner and then great later in the week for lunch. I've talked about this before. My husband Bob works right next door to not one, but 2 fast food restaurants. I mean, we're talking, he is feet away from both of them, and if I can keep him away from going to those fast food restaurants, first of all, I save money. We all save money. Those can add up. But secondly, I know what he's eating, and I know, it's something that I made, and it's, he doesn't have to take the time to go to lunch too. So this is great to have, on hand for the week, and it freezes really well, as I said. Wow. And it smells just amazing. See how thick and wonderful this is with the sausage in here. And what happens is those lentils break down like peas or beans would, and they naturally really thicken the soup. And it's just hearty and wonderful. And you've got the potatoes in here and the tomatoes and yum, yum, yum. The carrots, celery. This is just something great in the winter to warm you up on a cold winter day. Now, I am going to garnish it. Now, you don't have to. It's fabulous as is. But we're going to do a little parsley on top. Just some Italian flat leaf parsley, just to make it look pretty. And what I do love, love, love to serve with this, I'm all about a little bit of bread or rolls or something for dunking or sopping up every little last bit. And the perfect bread to serve with this is just some nice rye bread that we just picked this up, or pumpernickel, right from the bakery at Festival Foods, and just a little bit of soup, a little bit of bread, a little bit of Dunkin', and I don't know about you, but I'm a happy camper. So there you go. It's my German sausage and lentil soup, and this one is a winner. Really, really delicious. Recipes at our website. You can also pick it up at any area Festival Foods. Enjoy. Coming up next,